Hey all, Hipper here. Today we are taking out the Exeter because some of you have asked for more mid-tier and low-tier battles, so I'm just doing a few of those this week probably. Um, so I'm sure you know that I am a huge fan of Exeter. I think it is such a great cruiser, and uh, yeah, I just love it. It has, with my build here, it has 3 heals, 3 sonars, and 3 smokes. It's just, it's full of utility. And that's also why I just barge into the cap here in full view of 6 red ships. But I don't care because I have my smoke. And I might take a little damage here in the beginning. But by the time they get their turrets rotated this way and actually getting the opportunity to shoot at me, I'm smoked up already. And I'll take this cap here, thank you. Uh, it's just such a great ship, and it really invites aggressive play, and I love aggressive play. But just be careful because it is squishy and it is a cruiser, and you can get punished absolutely. So don't overextend. I mean, I am right on the border here, and if I had gone any further than this, I would have been dead. So the reason I made this play here is to be able to cap this middle cap here right at the beginning of the game. Because this cap here is just so important. We only have 1 destroyer on our team, and the enemy team only has 1 destroyer as well. And obviously the destroyer started at A, so there's no way anyone would be able to take this cap here, except for Exeter. Like I did, just speed in there, full speed, and as soon as you get into trouble, just pop your smoke and wait to cap. And right now I have secured my team a very nice advantage. So all I gotta do now is get out of here, because I don't have a rolling smoke like the Italians, which would be very nice for like escaping. And this here is something that is a little bit of a bugbear to me. Like battleships invading a smoke, like there is no point in smoking up a battleship because their smoke firing penalty is huge, and like all that guy would achieve by doing that is to attract fire and perhaps get me sunk in the process. So that's also why I'm running away now. There's no way I'm hanging around that guy there because he is a little bit far ahead, and I just want to get a little bit away from him in case he's gonna attract fire. So for example, had he entered that smoke while I was capping and a stray shell hit me, I would have been reset. And see there, he doesn't last long. And of course, that would be bad. So if you're in a battleship and a cruiser is sitting in smoke and capping or doing something useful, don't enter the smoke unless there is a very good reason for that. Because smoke is really not for battleships. So by doing this little stunt here where I capped B in the first pretty much minute of the game, it gives us a massive advantage, and all I have to do now is pretty much just keep the enemy at bay, and we'll be able to win this quite easily. The guys at C are doing well as well. They've already taken that cap, and obviously the guys at A are suffering because the whole enemy team is pretty much over there. So like I said before, all we have to do now is just keep these guys from taking B, and we should be good, pretty much. And there's a lot of battleships here, and like Exeter is not really a damage-focused cruiser. The reload is very, very slow for a tier 5, and the HE is not overwhelming by any means. And you can see you have a nearly 11-second reload here. And also the AP is not particularly good. I tend to get a lot of overpens with Exeter, especially if I'm facing Aoba or another Japanese cruiser. Exeter fares better if it's like facing German cruisers like Nuremberg or Königsberg. I tend to get better citadels there. it can be very frustrating in the ship here if you are facing like an AOBA broadside on and you are firing a perfect AP shot and all you get is overbends. And that happens a lot in Exeter, and it's probably this ship's Achilles heel, I think. It just doesn't deal very well with other cruisers. At least not the Japanese kind, and not the French ones either. Like I said before, the Germans do okay. But for really punishing cruiser broadsides, there are better alternatives. Like the Russian Budyonny, that is probably the king of AP broadsides in tier 5, in my opinion. So you can see here, the little annoying destroyer has now entered B, and there's no one around, so I'll have to stop my damage farming here to go in and actually defend B. So this is again a situation where I just want to underline the importance of having a fast cruiser, because it allows you to pull off these little naughty stunts here where you're first farming in open water 1 second, and then the next second you need it somewhere else, and going this close to 40 knots, it allows you to reposition quickly and without too much trouble in general. So we're just about to enter the cap here, and I know the destroyer is hiding somewhere in here, but I'm not really, of course, sure exactly where. So I put my sonar on, and I'm hoping to catch him off guard. Now this DD player here is smart. He's obviously seen me coming, so he's not going to just sit around and wait for me to take him out. So although I have my sonar on here, I'm still having a bit of a trouble actually figuring out where this guy is hiding. So what I'm doing here is pretty much the same thing I did at the beginning of the battle. I just barge into the cap, and then as soon as things starts to get a little bit too hot, then I smoke up, and that way whoever shoots a salvo at me will most likely just miss and waste the salvo. And I love seeing the Reds waste their salvos, especially the battleships, because they get so few of them. So every wasted salvo is a victory for me, pretty much. So if you notice here, we've lost all the friendly ships, the blue ships, over at C. So obviously that's going to be a problem, because there is, well, at least 2 ships over there. The last 2 ships left on that flank, and then there's a last battleship on the left flank. So I have to make a decision now. Do I chase down this destroyer and potentially lose Cap B? Or do I head over and start defending C? Because it's just a matter of time before that will start to get capped. And just as I say that, C starts getting capped. And I saw those torps coming from outside this cap, which means that going out there and chasing down this destroyer without a sonar is just going to be like a waste of time. So it's better to head over here to C and see if it can be a little bit more useful over here in trying to send this battleship here back where it came from. And of course the battleship over here on the right flank is a Bayern, and that is one of the toughest battleships in the game. And sometimes I wonder if it shouldn't be at tier 6 instead of tier 5, because sometimes I have a really hard time getting rid of these battleships. Like you really need another battleship to take it out, pretty much, because they take a long time to burn down, and AP just doesn't bite on them at all. And they also were quite difficult to sink with torps, as you will see in a moment. So I can see he's going to come around the rock here, so I'm just gonna shoot a few preemptive torps, hoping I can get some easy damage there. But obviously this guy is too smart to run into my torps. But it does mean that I can sit here and I can retake the cap, because if there's one thing the Bayern is, it's slow. It's almost as horrible as the American battleships. So there's no way he's going to be able to turn around and come around the island this way. before I cap. So I'm just taking it a little bit easy here because I don't know if the destroyer is waiting for me. And yeah, of course he was trying there, but no luck. And this is what Exeter is really, really good at, this late game island sneaking here. Because like I said before, you have your sonar, you have your smoke to set up some really, really nasty ambushes. And if everything goes bad, then you have your heals. As you can see, I have all my 3 heals left here. So I'm going to be quite a handful here in the last 4 minutes of the game. And really, like, the longer you survive in Exeter, as the same with most cruisers, the more powerful you will be. And of course, I cannot sink this Bayern here in like one fell swoop. So I'm playing a little bit smart here because, like I said earlier, Exeter is not about damage. I don't think so anyway. This is like a very powerful cruiser for players who enjoy a challenge, I'd say. And that brings me to the fact that if you haven't bought Exeter yet, I can recommend this ship. I am pretty sure out of all the premiums in the game, if I could pick only one to have, I would pick Exeter. Because I really think this is a tier 6 ship that's stuck at tier 5, basically. It has a tool for every job, and with an agile build like this, it is the most agile cruiser at tier 5, which is just amazing in its own right. It goes nearly 40 knots and 3.5 second rudder. So I'm a little bit slow on the smoke here. I should have fired it a little bit earlier, but just angling away a little bit to take the worst of the incoming salvo here. But as you can see, Exeter is a squishy ship, so it's by no means an easy ship to play, but it is a very rewarding ship, and I really enjoy playing it. So you can see I have my torps on a good trajectory here. I'm going to get at least 2 hits, but obviously that's not going to be enough to sink that Bayern there. I'm going to need help, and my battleship is too far away to help me. So I am just going to decide that enough's enough now. I'm not going to push this Bayern anymore, although I have another bank of torpedoes. But we've won this battle anyway. There's no point trying to win harder here. I'm just going to sit here, and then I'm going to make sure I don't get surprised by the destroyer from somewhere. I still have 16 seconds of sonar, so that's why I'm just taking it easy here and just chilling out a little bit. So yeah, Exeter, like, I really enjoy this ship. It's one of the only like lower tier ships that I play on a regular basis and that I really enjoy. And I can only imagine if at some point down the line we get another rudder inspiration. I can probably get the rudder on this ship below 3 seconds, and then it will be an absolute terror at tier 5. Nothing will even be close to compared to this ship here. So we'll see about that. But as it is now, you have a 3.5 second rudder with a full agile build, and it goes just about 38, 39 knots, I think something like that, which is very good, especially at tier 5. That's very, very good. And you have torps, you have health, you have sonar, you have smoke. I mean, there's nothing that this ship is missing, really. Except for perhaps damage output. The raw damage output is lacking. You have a very slow reload, and like I said before, the HE and the AP is a bit underwhelming actually. But other than that, magnificent ship. So I can thoroughly recommend this ship. I really, really like it. So that was an Exeter battle for you guys here at tier 5. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you out there.